arriving in a moment. So the 6 technical sessions will finally culminate into a declaration by all of these 13 tiger range countries. They will list the outcomes of the 6 technical sessions as well, how the capacity can be built, how the leadership can be provided for the overall objective of sustainable development and also smart green infrastructure. There's the Honorable Prime Minister arriving in the plenary hall.
Honorable Prime Minister, Sir, and other distinguished dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, our esteemed guests, special invitees, all the distinguished delegates and participants, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure now to be welcoming all of you in the inaugural ceremony of the 3rd Asia Ministerial Conference on Tiger Conservation. And ladies and gentlemen, at the very outset, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Prime Minister for joining in to inaugurate this conference, which sees the participation from 13 tiger range countries, and which invites the will and the momentum of all stakeholders at the global level. At the same time, ladies and gentlemen, this conference also seeks a dynamic leadership and a sensitive leadership to give momentum further to this movement of saving this magnificent species, which today stands endangered because of our so-called need, but often greed. And the presence of our Honorable Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, it reflects the will and the commitment of his government, the will and the commitment of this nation, which is home to 70% of the tiger population in the wild, to save this umbrella species, which is both a guardian and, yes, an indicator of a healthy forest. And not to mention, ladies and gentlemen, that it's the pride of India being a national animal. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, please join us as we express thanks to the Honorable Prime Minister for joining in, extending his dynamic leadership to this very decisive initiative of national, global, and yes, ecological importance. Many thank you to you, Prime Minister, sir. And may I now request our Honorable Minister, the Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Shri Prakash Javadekar ji, who is also the Chairman of the National Tiger Conservation Authority. And ladies and gentlemen, he's always voiced for a more balanced and sustainable growth and development. Inviting you, Honorable Minister, for your welcome address.
Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, Chairman of the Global Council and Bhutan's Minister in Agriculture, Environment and Forest, Shri Yeshi Dorji, Lavasa ji, Negi ji, Bonar ji. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this 3rd Asian Ministerial Conference of Tiger Conservation. It's my special moment and privilege to welcome our dynamic and decisive Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. He is source of inspiration for all of us because he is an avid nature lover and committed environmentalist. He adopted best conservation practices of nature and wildlife as Chief Minister in Gujarat, and growing number of lions in Gujarat is one testimony of his efforts. His commitment for tiger conservation is reflected in the outlays which he has provided in this budget. Our budget, which was just 185 crores for tiger project last year, has been increased, nearly doubled to 380 crores. That's a huge increase and we must welcome it. And with 60-40 participation, of the state's contribution, this will translate into 500 crore rupees for Project Tiger. That means he has fulfilled the target put forth by the 12th five-year plan. I welcome you, respected Prime Minister. On the eve of this Tiger meet, there is a good news. As per WWF estimates, the tiger population world over has grown from 3,200 to 3,890. That's a great good news on today morning. And 6 countries, because there are only 13 countries which have tiger population. And 6 out of 13 have increased the numbers. That shows that we are getting success. It was a proud moment for me when I declared result of tiger count conducted in 2014. When I wrote on the blackboard, and many of you were there, so when I wrote 2226, India's tiger count, it was fantastic 30% growth and rise over the last count. This is 70% of world's tiger population. India is proud to have that 70% tiger population of the world. Last 2 years, the number is rising, and our rough estimate as of today is that India has nearly 2,500 tigers. That's a good news for India also, what we are doing for last so many years. And let me tell you here only, that we will have zero tolerance against poaching or the efforts which some people do it, criminals do it. What happened in Corbett, near Corbett, in Valmik Tiger Reserve, and what happened in Pench, poisoning of tigers. This is unacceptable. All culprits have been nabbed, and we will ensure that they are given severe punishment, which will work as a deterrent, because India has zero tolerance for such wildlife crimes. We are leading by example, and we are committed to cooperate with other tiger countries, and therefore from today morning when the technical session started, we have seen how India can help and is eager to help all the countries, even the new countries which want to become tiger countries. Tiger is an epitome of ecosystem. It's on the top of the food chain pyramid. If conservation of tiger is successful, this means that the whole health of the ecosystem is improving. This is despite a challenging situation in which India finds itself. We have only 2.5% of the land mass, and we have 17% of the world's human population, as well as 17% of our cattle population, and both on 2.5% of the land mass. So there is a space crunch. Still, we have been successful to preserve 8% of the world's biodiversity species. That's a great success India has achieved in biodiversity. Under Prime Minister's leadership, we have started in last 2 years 3 new tiger reserves. One in Bor in Maharashtra, one Rajaji in Uttarakhand, and one Orang in Assam. We have started a unique experiment in new SOPs for orphan tigers. Because in childhood, when I was staying in a village where there was a good forest and there used to be many tigers, we had a forester living nearby. So every monsoon period, he used to bring some cubs. I used to ask him, what is it? So they were orphaned. Either they are separated from their mother, or mother has died, and so they are orphaned. So they used to bring me, we used to play with them for 7-8 days, then he used to take, as per that time's procedure, to Mumbai. But now when I became minister, I said, how we deal with these orphan tigers? And then we prepared these SOPs, and I'm very happy to say, the beginning has been made effectively, and 4 such orphan tigers, cubs, we nourish them in the enclosure, in situ enclosures, but immediately we release them in the wild successfully, and that's a great success. It's a new story of new SOP's success. We are taking a historical decision, and let me announce today that we need to preserve tiger corridors. How to preserve? So we are taking a decision. We will incentivize project proponents to give land for compensatory afforestation in tiger corridors. By such measures, over the years, we can free the tiger corridors from private encumbrance, and it will become a forest land, and we can protect tiger corridors, because that is very important for protecting the tiger population, which is growing. We are also doing conservation with the help of latest technologies. We are using e-surveillance, we must see that. We are using camera traps, we are using drones, and we are doing smart patrolling through AIM Stripes program. So we are using all latest technologies to curb poaching or anything, any wildlife crime. And therefore, at the end, we have also started the world's first white tiger safari. Last week, with Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, I inaugurated world's first white tiger safari in Mukundpur, and this will serve to renew interest in the conservation efforts for tigers and other magnificent animals. That's our commitment with which we are working, and we will continue to work under the guidance of Prime Minister. So I welcome you once again, and I hope that this 3 days deliberation will provide tremendous useful material for all countries, and all can march together for more effective tiger conservation. And it will, if today there are only 13 countries, sooner many new countries are also evinced interest in having tigers, and we are ready to cooperate with all such countries also. We will do that, and we will achieve the target of good tiger conservation. Thank you, and all the best for the conference.
Thank you, Honourable Minister, sir, for your views and also sharing with us the efforts and the measures which are being taken by the Government of India towards conserving the tigers in their natural habitat. And ladies and gentlemen, as you might be aware, this is the third of its kind conference at a global level, and this time it is being organized here in India on tigers. And for this, many thanks to Mr. Yeshi Dorji, who is present with us here on the dais, the chairman of the Global Tiger Forum, who is also the Honourable Minister for Agriculture and Forest of the Royal Government of Bhutan, for taking this special initiative of requesting our Honourable Minister, as we mentioned, he's also the chairman of the NTCA, for hosting this conference here in India. So, as we express once again thanks to Mr. Yeshi Dorji, I would now like to request and invite him for his views and his remarks.
Your Excellency, Shri Narendra Modi ji, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Prakash Javadekar, the Honorable Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India, my esteemed colleagues, ministers from the Tiger Range countries, distinguished representatives from the partner conservation organizations, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you all. It is my great honor to convey to this august gathering the warm greetings and the wishes of His Majesty the King and the people of Bhutan. I thank the Government of India for organizing this third Asia Ministerial Conference on Tiger Conservation. Almost a year ago, when I took over as the chairperson of the Global Tiger Forum, I have requested Shri Prakash Javadekar to consider hosting this important conference. I appreciate that this has been favorably considered. I am also very pleased to note the presence of our minister colleagues from snow leopard range countries. And it is indeed reassuring to witness the presence of senior officials from various countries who are keen on reintroducing the tiger. I am grateful in particular to Shri Narendra Modi ji for inaugurating this conference. We are gathered here today to continue in our quest to ensure one of the most majestic animals on planet, the tiger, into the future. The tiger is one among a few animals which has woven its way into the very fabric of human values and culture. It is therefore fitting that this conference is taking place in Delhi, the capital of the world's largest democracy, an economic stronghold, a nation of 1.2 billion people, which holds the tiger close to its heart as its national animal. More than 70% of the world's tiger population is found here in India. Honorable Prime Minister's presence is a testimony to the importance which the great nation of India places on the tiger. Honorable Prime Minister, we are deeply inspired by your presence here among us today. Your Excellency, as we move forward as a global communities, there are many challenges we face: disasters, terrorism, poverty, inequality, and injustice continue to impede us in our path to progress and happiness. In this context, I, on the behalf of the people and the government of Bhutan, offer you the heartfelt condolences to the people and the government of India on the recent fire tragedy in Kerala. Common aspirations based on the vision of shared humanity must be harnessed in our effort to build and shape a happy world. I believe that the tiger is an animal which can bring humanity together to make us realize the true value of life. Further, the tiger will and help confront the many ills which plague the global community. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Bhutan has recently completed the National Tiger Survey. Survey, which is useful and much needed, was a costly and time-consuming initiative. Given the rugged and the mountain terrain, we took almost a year to place camera taps and retrieve images from across Bhutan and engage more than 500 field staffs. We are grateful to the European Union, the World Bank, and WWF for supporting this initiative. Our results shows that we have 103 elder tigers in Bhutan. We now have a firm basis to monitor and track the success and efficacy of our conservation programs. Our scientists are also discovering that tigers roam all the way from the southern foothills to the great high mountains of Bhutan Himalayas. To validate our findings, we have initiated a tiger coloring programs to understand tiger movement and ecology. On the behalf of my colleagues, I thank our friends at the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, the Kingdom of Thailand, for training Bhutanese staff in tiger coloring. The great journey which the tiger undertakes are made possible by the large connected forest, which covers more than 70% of Bhutan's area. Such connectivity is further secured by Bhutan's protected areas and biological corridor system, which today covers more than 50% of country's area. Camera taping initiatives continues to indicate a healthy and robust tiger population in Bhutan. Therefore, it is my belief and confidence that the tiger can persist and thrive if we accord the right protection, including proper habitat conservation. Today, we have an opportunity. In this very hall, we have many distinguished leaders, scientists, practitioners from all tiger range countries. We have the opportunity to carry forward the legacy and the dreams of our predecessors. Since the inception of the landmark project Tiger in 1973 in India to the continuing global movement to save tigers culminating in the St. Petersburg summit in Russia, we have come a long way as an international community in our commitment to protect tiger. In Bhutan, the guidance and the farsightedness of our visionary monarchs continue to ensure that environment conservation receives the highest priority as we move forward as a country. In our humble effort to conserve tiger, we have increased the penalty 20 folds, in addition to imprisonment up to 10 years for those who killing and trading in tiger parts. We are hopeful that such intervention will help deter those intent on poaching and trading tiger parts. However, we must all acknowledge the challenges throughout tiger range countries. Poaching is real. Conversion of land is real. The aspiration for better livelihood of more than 1 billion inhabitants across tiger range countries are real. As such, we must seek the support of concerned agencies. It is therefore with great appreciation we acknowledge the support rendered by partner conservation organizations and international community. Such support should not only be aimed at trying to curtail poaching and prevent land use conversion, but should help secure rural livelihood and build capacity of local conservation actors. In Bhutan, we have launched a project for permanence called Bhutan for Life with the WWF, aimed at ensuring adequate financing of our protected area into perpetuity. I believe that the fight to save tiger is a global importance. National actions must be supported by global aspirations and international commitment. I'm pleased to note the conference will cover all the pertinent issues ranging from threats to the tiger to the management effectiveness of protected areas to livelihood and capacity building. While actions must be local, our collective efforts must transcend boundaries and politics. We must strive to bring innovation at the field level. We must keep community vitality and prosperity of local people at the heart of our conservation. And we must look at the protected landscape as an engine of growth and opportunity for both tiger and the people. The role of Global Tiger Forum at this juncture is very important. As a chairman, I have requested non-members to join, and I am pleased this has been accepted. The Global Tiger Forums happen to be the only intergovernmental organization of its kind, created and owned by tiger range countries. The forum provides us a platform for collective collaboration to address areas of mutual concern. With the phasing out of Global Tiger Initiative, the Global Tiger Forum has been mandated to carry forward the agenda of tiger conservation. I take this opportunity to request India to support this forum by signing a host country agreement. With over 70% of the world's tiger population and being a national symbol, it is only fitting that India continues to support and provide leadership on this front. Bhutan is establishing a National Tiger Research Center in the Royal National Park of Bhutan to conduct research and advocate policy to ensure the persistence of tiger. We are hopeful that the center will be of benefit to both Bhutan and India, and in due course to the wider tiger range countries. We solicit your support to ensure the success of this timely initiative. Honorable Prime Minister, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we carry the immense responsibility today of ensuring that one of the most magnificent animals on our planet continue to survive and thrive. Anything less will be a failure on our part to hand over a thriving planet to our children. I'm sure our deliberation will be meaningful and conference will significantly contribute to the well-being of the tiger and all other living beings. As a responsible leader, conservationists and citizens committed to protect and save one of the most enigmatic animals to walk this planet, our task remains unfinished. We have much more to do. I assure you, Bhutan's commitment in our collective effort to ensure that the future of tiger is secured. I remain confident of receiving the support, leadership, and guidance of Your Excellency and the esteemed minister colleagues from all tiger range countries. I wish the conference a great success and happiness. Thank you, and touch the leg.
Thank you, Honourable Minister, for sharing your views and vision as the chairman of GTF, and also the various constructive measures which are being taken in Bhutan for the survival and for the tiger to thrive. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the presentation of the awards. These awards are to the tiger reserves. for their concerted efforts which they have been taking towards preserving and conserving the tiger. May I request the Honorable Prime Minister to please do the honors of presenting these awards. Requesting the Honorable Prime Minister, sir, to please step forward. Ladies and gentlemen, the first category is anti-poaching. And in this category, the award goes to Periyar Tiger Reserve, Kerala. We have Dr. Amit Malik, the Field Director, Periyar, joining us here on the stage. A serious issue of massive organized elephant poaching was detected in the forest of Kerala, including the Periyar Tiger Reserve landscape. A detailed investigation was carried out, which resulted in the arrest of 73 accused within the state of Kerala and outside. Here, ladies and gentlemen, the professionalism which has been displayed by the team has been appreciated here by the Honorable Prime Minister. The next category is village relocation and resettlement. And in this category, the award goes to Satpura Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh. Receiving the award, Shri A.K. Nagar, the Field Director, Satpura. The Satpura Tiger Reserve was notified in the year 1999-2000. An important recommendation of the Tiger Task Force in 2005 was the creation of the inviolate space for tigers to thrive. And with an aim to achieve this objective, Satpura authorities have been able to successfully rehabilitate 37 villages. The next category is active management, and in this category, the award goes to Kanha Tiger Reserve, Madhya Pradesh. Receiving the award, Mr. Jasbir Singh Chauhan, the Field Director, Kanha. The Kanha Tiger Reserve management, after intensive habitat interventions in village vacated sites, have successfully captured, translocated, and released ungulates in these areas without any mortality. Further, the Kanha management has also translocated Indian bison to the Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve. The next category, ladies and gentlemen, is community participation in ecotourism. And in this category, the award goes to Parambikulam Tiger Reserve, Kerala. Receiving the award, ladies and gentlemen, Shri Pramod Krishnan, Field Director of Parambikulam. Community-based ecotourism initiative at Parambikulam include novel packages like treetop huts, island nest, elephant on trekking trails, and nature camps, which have been appreciated here by the Honorable Prime Minister. The next category, ladies and gentlemen, is conservation of species other than tigers in tiger reserves, and the award goes to Kaziranga Tiger Reserve, Assam. Receiving the award, Shri Rajendra Gadawar, the Conservator of Forest, Kaziranga. Kaziranga was declared as a tiger reserve in 2007 when the population of the eastern swarm deer was just 68, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it has multiplied to almost 1,855 rhinos. So many congratulations to the awardees. And now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to the Honorable Prime Minister for doing the honors. On this occasion, ladies and gentlemen, we also have release of a joint report on the status of tigers in Sundarban landscape. May I once again request the Honorable Prime Minister to please release the book, and requesting the Honorable Minister to kindly present the first copy to the Honorable Prime Minister for the release. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the first joint scientific assessment by India and Bangladesh on the status of tiger in Sundarban landscape using a common standard scientific protocol and unraveling the ecological aspects of this unique and less known tiger population. This report should be of immense value to the people who are working for tiger conservation in the Sundarban landscape. The report presents various recommendations for the governments of both the countries to collectively build on conservation strategies that can address the threats outlined in the report. Thank you to the Honorable Prime Minister for releasing this report. And in fact, congratulations to both the countries, Bangladesh and India, who have jointly presented this report. And ladies and gentlemen, as we said, this conference seeks a dynamic leader and a global leader who has the will, the intent, and the charisma to take forward this mission of protecting and saving the tigers. So please join me, ladies and gentlemen, as I now request one of the most revered, respected, and highly looked up to global leader of our present times, our Honorable Prime Minister, Prime Minister Modi.
Minister for Agriculture and Forests, Royal Government of Bhutan, and Chairman Global Tiger Forum, distinguished ministers from Tiger Range countries, Shri Prakash Javadekar, our Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, other dignitaries on the dais, delegates from Tiger Range countries, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome you all. The tiger has brought all of us together here. This is an important meeting to discuss the conservation of one of the important endangered species. Your very presence as a testimony to the importance your country attaches to this umbrella among species. As we all know, the tiger is an apex consumer in the ecological pyramid and food chain. It requires a large amount of prey supported by good forests. Therefore, by protecting the tiger, we protect the entire ecosystem and the ecological services which are equally crucial for the well-being of human beings. In fact, the benefits from tiger conservation are enormous but intangible. We cannot quantify this in economic terms. Putting a price tag on a nature, I don't think it's wise, and it's very difficult. Since Mother Nature has bestowed them for its own conservation, it becomes our bounden duty to conserve them. In India, the tiger is much more than just a wild animal. In our mythology, the mother goddess, who is embodiment of Mother Nature, is depicted sitting on a tiger. In fact, most of our gods and goddesses are associated with some animal, tree, or river. In fact, sometimes these animals are put on the same pedestal as gods and goddesses. No wonder the tiger is also our national animal. I'm sure other tiger range countries would have some cultural legacy associated with tigers. Friends, species belonging to the animal kingdom usually do not act to their disadvantage. However, Human beings are an exception. Our compulsions and cravings, our needs and greed have led to shrinkage of natural habitat and destruction of ecosystems. Here I recall the famous words of Gautam Buddha, who said, "The forest is a peculiar organism of unlimited kindness. It offers protection to all beings, offering shade even to the X-man who destroys it." I appreciate the good efforts made by the tiger range countries in conserving tigers. I compliment you all for these great ongoing efforts. I also appreciate the efforts through Global Tiger Initiative and the Council. I must mention the great effort made by Mr. Vladimir Putin in convening the Tiger Summit in 2010. The Global Tiger Recovery Program was an important outcome of these efforts. I also appreciate the initiatives of Mr. Dorji, the chairman of the Global Tiger Forum. However, from what I have been told, it appears that tiger habitats have reduced drastically across tiger range countries. The situation has been aggravated further by the ongoing trafficking in body parts and derivatives of this magnificent animal. In India too, we have been facing the challenge of poaching and disruption in their ecosystems. The positive side for us in India is that majority of the population respect trees, animals, forests, rivers, and other elements of nature like the sun and God, moon. They consider the earth as our mother. Our scriptures encourage us to treat the entire universe as one Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam and Lokah Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. This is our philosophy. We pray for peace and prosperity of everyone, including the ecosystem. Om Dyom Shantihi, Antarik Shantihi, Prithvi Shantihi, Rapah Shantihi, Raushadaya Shantihi, Vanaspataya Shantihi. Friends, forests are inseparable from wild animals. Both are mutually complementary. Destruction of one leads to destruction of other. This is an important cause of climate change, which is now affecting us adversely in many ways. This is a global phenomenon which all of us are grappling with. As a solution, we have committed to work towards country-specific mitigation strategies. In my view, for the tiger range countries, a viable tiger population undoubtedly symbolizes a mitigation strategy for climate change. This will create a huge carbon sink in the form of tiger-bearing forests. Thus, conservation of tiger will go a long way in ensuring a good future for ourselves and our coming generations. India has a long-standing and successful track record for protecting its tigers. We launched Project Tiger in 1973. Its coverage has increased considerably from the initial 9 tiger reserves to 49 at present. Tiger conservation is a collective responsibility of the Government of India and states. I also compliment our state governments for their efforts. But the efforts of government cannot succeed unless they are supported by the people. Our cultural legacy, which encourages compassion and coexistence, has played an important role in the success of Project Tiger. Due to such collective efforts, there has been a rise of 30% in the numbers of tigers. It has gone up from 1,706 in 2010 to 2,226 in 2014. Our National Tiger Conservation Authority has taken many landmark initiatives. Use of modern technology, including intelligent, infrared, and thermal cameras on 24/7 basis is being promoted for surveillance against poaching in sensitive tiger reserves. Several protocols for smart patrolling and tiger monitoring have been evolved. Radio telemetry is also being promoted to monitor tigers. A national repository of tiger camera trap photo database is also being created. To do all this, we have this year doubled our allocation for tiger conservation. We have increased it from rupees 185 crores to rupees 380 crores, which is 3.8 billion rupees. I strongly believe that tiger conservation or conservation of nature is not a drag on development. Both can happen in a mutually complementary manner. All we need is to reorient our strategy by factoring in the concerns of the tiger in sectors where tiger conservation is not the goal. This is a difficult task, but can be achieved. Our genius lies in smartly integrating the tiger and wildlife safeguards in various infrastructures at the landscape. This essentially takes us to the much needed smart green infrastructure while adopting a landscape approach. The landscape approach would also help us to involve business groups through corporate social responsibility for various initiatives toward tiger conservation. In the Indian context, we intend to achieve this through the tiger conservation plans. Considering the ecosystem value of tiger conservation areas, we need to consider them as natural capital. Our institutions have done an economic valuation of a few tiger reserves. This study has highlighted that the fact that besides conserving the tiger, these reserves also provide a range of economic, social, cultural, and spiritual benefits. These are known as ecosystem services. Thus, we need to define conservation as a means to achieve development rather than considering it to be anti-growth. This calls for factoring in the value of the ecosystem in the economic arithmetic of development and growth. Friends, I'm confident that we can achieve a framework to foster proactive engagement of industry for conservation. The natural capital, denoting the stock of natural ecosystem, should be treated at par with capital goods. Our economy needs to be viewed as a subset of a larger economy of natural resources and ecosystem services which sustain us. As a country having more than 70% of the global tiger population, India is committed to complement the initiatives of other tiger range countries. We have bilateral arrangements with China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh. We hope to continue our efforts to address issues of mutual concern for the tiger. A major threat to the tiger is the demand for its body parts and derivatives. The forest and its wild denizens are an open treasury which cannot be locked up. It is painful to learn about trafficking of body parts and derivatives of tigers and other big cats. We need to collaborate at the highest level of government to address this serious issue. India, along with several tiger range countries, is a founder member of the Global Tiger Forum, which is headquartered in New Delhi. This is the only intergovernmental organization of its kind. It is now working closely with the Global Tiger Initiative Council. As a host country, I assure you of our fullest support. We will also be happy to support capacity building of wildlife personnel at the Wildlife Institute of India. The tiger range countries are signatories to other international conventions to address international trade on endangered species. In this regard, I want to give you another good news. We are moving towards formally adopting the statute of South Asia Wildlife Enforcement Network. At the end, I would like to emphasize that conservation of tiger is not a choice. It is an imperative. I would also like to emphasize that regional cooperation is essential for combating wildlife crime. In this conference, let us resolve to work together to protect the tiger and his space. India is committed to engage with all tiger range countries for this purpose. I appreciate your presence, and with this conference, all success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister, sir, for sharing with us your visionary approach towards protecting this animal and giving a clarion call to all the countries to come together and have a concerted effort towards protecting the animal and harmonizing conservation and development. Thank you, Prime Minister, sir, for guiding this August gathering, extending your leadership to the summit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks, gratitude, and appreciation to the Honorable Prime Minister by presenting a memento, a remembrance of this very special day also. May I request the Honorable Minister, Shri Prakash Javadekar ji, to please present this memento. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special memento which is being presented to the Honorable Prime Minister. As you can see, this is a painting of the tiger. A special painting which is being presented to the Honorable Prime Minister, remembrance of this very special day and the efforts which we are taking towards conserving and preserving the tiger. And now may I request respected Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Shri Ashok Lavasa ji, to kindly propose a formal vote of thanks.
Honorable Prime Minister of India, Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Environment and Forests, the Royal Government of Bhutan, Honorable Minister for Environment, Forests and Climate Change, Government of India, Excellencies, delegates and participants. It is indeed a historic and happy occasion that such distinguished leaders and luminaries have gathered for the cause of tiger conservation. Tiger is the crowning glory of the jungle and the national animal of India. First of all, let me on behalf of each and every person present here and on behalf of the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change, express our heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Prime Minister for finding the time to inaugurate this conference and providing this movement his dynamic leadership and sage vision. He has led from the front in this, as he has in all spheres of development, nation building, and international collaboration. His commitment for the conservation of tiger is evident from the fact that about $56 million has been allocated to Project Tiger in India for the current financial year, which is unprecedented. I am thankful to the Honorable Prime Minister for his support and for his kind presence. It is also my privilege to thank the Chairman of the Global Tiger Forum, Honorable Minister Mr. Yeshi Dorji. It was his initiative that led to organizing this ministerial conference in New Delhi, which will chart a new path in mission conservation. I also take this opportunity to express our thanks to our Minister, Shri Prakash Javadekar ji, for his constant guidance, encouragement, and driving us for conservation of our national heritage while ensuring balance with nature. He is as passionate about conservation of nature as he is about doing responsible business. I thank him for announcing new initiatives for conservation. I thank honorable ministers, ambassadors, delegates, and all participants for their presence today, which shows their commitment to the cause of conservation, their zeal and spirit to work together. Honorable Prime Minister and ministers, we are hopeful that your guidance will strengthen the collective resolve to review the Global Tiger Recovery Program, catalyze additional resources, incorporate principles of smart green infrastructure in national planning processes, enhance collaboration with business and industry, significantly improve landscape conservation efforts through an inclusive community-based approach, and step up our joint efforts to prevent poaching and curb illicit trade. Once again, I thank one and all who have worked tirelessly for the success of this conference. On your behalf, I want to assure the tigers in the wild that we are determined to preserve their majesty in the critical chain of sustainable ecosystem. Thank you.
And we now have a group photograph of the Honorable Ministers of the Tiger Range countries. May we request him to please step up on the stage for this group photograph with the Honorable Prime Minister. And requesting our Honorable Prime Minister to please step forward for this group photograph. If you can have the photograph in front. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, many congratulations to all the Tiger Range countries and thanking the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi for extending his leadership to this conference.
And with that, a group photograph symbolizing that the ministers of Tiger Range countries are all for cooperation as far as tiger conservation is concerned. With that, we conclude the inaugural session of the 3rd Asia Ministerial Conference on Tiger Conservation. And as the Honorable Prime Minister said, that tiger conservation is a collective responsibility. It is not a choice. It's imperative on all of us, each stakeholder, to contribute towards this objective. And as the Prime Minister leaves the plenary hall, let us rededicate ourselves to this cause of wildlife protection, conservation of the habitat, and conserving the tiger. We sincerely hope tiger population will have a secured future. Namaskar.
Pleasure now to be welcoming all of you in the inaugural ceremony of the 3rd Asia Ministerial Conference on Tiger Conservation. And ladies and gentlemen, at the very outset, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Prime Minister for joining in to inaugurate this conference, which sees the participation from 13 Tiger Range countries, and which invites the will and the momentum of all stakeholders at the global level. At the same time, ladies and gentlemen, this conference also seeks a dynamic leadership and a sensitive leadership to give momentum further to this movement of saving this magnificent species, which today stands endangered because of our so-called need, but often greed. And the presence of our Honorable Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, it reflects the will and the commitment of his government, the will and the commitment of this nation, which is home to 70% of the tiger population in the wild, to save this umbrella species, which is both a guardian and, yes, an indicator of a healthy forest. And not to mention, ladies and gentlemen, that it's the pride of India being a national animal. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, please join us as we express thanks to the Honorable Prime Minister for joining in, extending his dynamic leadership to this very decisive initiative of national, global, and yes, ecological importance. Many thank you to you, Prime Minister, sir. And may I now request our Honorable Minister, the Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Shri Prakash Javadekar ji, who is also the Chairman of the National Tiger Conservation Authority. And ladies and gentlemen, he's always voiced for a more balanced and sustainable growth and development. Inviting you, Honorable Minister, for your welcome address.
Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, Chairman of the Global Council and Bhutan's Minister in Agriculture, Environment and Forest, Shri Dorji, Lavasaji, Negiji, Bonarji. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this third Asian Ministerial Conference of Tiger Conservation. It's my special moment and privilege to welcome our dynamic and decisive Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. He is source of inspiration for all of us because he is an avid nature lover and committed environmentalist. He adopted best conservation practices of nature and wildlife as Chief Minister in Gujarat, and growing number of lions in Gujarat is one testimony of his efforts. His commitment for tiger conservation is reflected in the outlays which he has provided in this budget. Our budget, which was just 185 crores for tiger project last year, has been increased, nearly doubled to 380 crores. That's a huge increase and we must welcome it. And with 60-40 participation of the state's contribution, this will translate into 500 crore rupees for project.
Arriving in a moment. So the 6 technical sessions will finally culminate into a declaration by all of these 13 tiger range countries. They will list the outcomes of the 6 technical sessions as well, how the capacity can be built, how the leadership can be provided for the overall objective of sustainable development and also smart green infrastructure. There's the Honorable Prime Minister arriving in the plenary hall.
Honorable Prime Minister, sir, and other distinguished dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, our esteemed guests, special invitees, all the distinguished delegates and participants, ladies and gentlemen.
Tiger, that means he has fulfilled the target put forth by the 12th 5-year plan. I welcome you, respected Prime Minister. On the eve of this tiger meet, there is a good news. As per WWF estimates, the tiger population world over has grown from 3,200 to 3,890. That's a great good news on today morning. And 6 countries, because there are only 13 countries which have tiger population. And 6 out of 13 have increased the numbers. That shows that we are getting success. It was a proud moment for me when I declared result of tiger count conducted in 2014. When I wrote on the blackboard, and many of you were there, so when I wrote 2226, India's tiger count, it was fantastic, 30% growth and rise over the last